Hello, my name is Whitney, and I'm a part of the Blessed Be Queens, which is something that I just came up with. This is my page. Please check out the other videos. I am new on here. But the purpose of this video is to show you how to use the Silhouette Cameo 3 software. So I want to go ahead and get right in and start to show you the different icons. This is a new, so if you click a new one, it's going to actually open up a new page. I don't want a new page, so I'm actually going to delete it. Okay, and then if you open up any picture, and I'll just use this one, it's going to actually open up a new one as well. Now, say you've been working on the tab 2 and you have another image on here, but we just uploaded another image and want to put that image on it. You'll have to copy it, go to that tab, and paste it. And that's the only way I have found with being able to upload multiple images or objects on one tab. So now if I delete that one, then I'll have my object here. Now this is your save, where you can save it to your computer, or you can actually save it to your library. You can print it to your printer. If I select this option and I select this one that says copy, and then I do this one that says paste, then I'll have two images. Now I'm going to delete that because I actually am a hotkeys person. So I like to select my image, do Control C and then Control V on the keypad. And then that gives me two images. Or you can click on your image, right click, copy, right click, paste, and that'll give you your two as well. So that's 3 different ways to copy and paste. This right here is going to tell you to select all your images. This is to blow your image up. This is to zoom out. This is if you want to select one part. So if I click the nose, it's only going to zoom in on the nose. And I'm actually not going to get into the other options. Again, I just got my Cameo, so there is still a lot of features that I'm not familiar with. I also do have pop-ups, sorry. So on this side you have the design, where you actually design your image and what you're making. This is the store. This actually did just update. This is where you go to purchase different designs, fonts, different things like that, patterns. As you can see, there is a price on there. I do not go here. And again, if you do have your subscription, it will give you a certain amount. But again, I haven't even done it and I haven't used my subscription yet. This is your library, where all of your fonts are, your designs or designs that you have saved. This is your send option. So when you're ready to print, you'll click on your image. Now with that, it's going to give you your cut settings, and it's going to give you the material that you're cutting, what function are you cutting, are you going to cut it or sketch it if you have sketch pens, are you using a ratchet blade, which is the only kind I have, which is actually a auto blade. If you're not going to cut, nothing's going to be highlighted. If you highlight it, then it's going to cut, which I have to select my image and then cut. And as you can see, this red border is all that it's going to cut. So to go to design, and I'm going to lower this a little bit, it has a white border. So earlier we just seen that this border, if we cut it, is going to have everything inside of that border. Well, we don't want that border. So let's take it off. I'll show you a quick way. Go to Trace, select Trace. Now you have the plus sign, and you select the object that you want to trace. it's going to get yellow. Now you see some black inside of there. That means it's not going to trace. So the two things you want to focus on is high pass. You want to make that make sure that that's off, and then you want to go to threshold. Now you can adjust the bar going up this way, and now you can see that everything's yellow, so it's going to trace everything. Or you can use this box and let it catch up. You can go down some more, and you'll start to see some of the black fade off. Okay, now whichever one is your preference. I like to use this box when I'm trying to get really fine spots, but for the most part I do use the bar. So now this is exactly how I want to trace it. I want to make sure that everything is yellow around where I trace. Now you want to first select trace and detach, means I'm tracing my image and I'm detaching it from the back. Now when it first pops up, it's going to look like you haven't done anything. But if you left click on the spot you want to delete, select delete on your keypad, and that will delete the background. So now when we move him over and we go to send and we go to cut, now that is all the way around. So instead of having to actually take scissors to cut my image, I can use the Cameo to cut as closely to the lines as possible. Now another thing to be able to do that, when you're on your main page under design, you want to go to page. This is telling you what current size you have, which is my regular printer, but I want to change that to my Cameo. Now with this image, I can actually print it exactly how it is now, and if I print it like that and I send it to my printer, and then so first thing, you can go ahead and take your image and print it regularly and have your kids color it. But say you want to have it cut out. To do that, you want to still print your image first, and you can print that on your regular printer. Now this took me a while to be able to find out. You want to set up your registration marks on. So your registration marks are only if you are printing an image and then having a Cameo go over and cut it. Because the Cameo reads this box and these lines. They are called registration marks. So when you put this image into your Cameo, it knows how far to trace and to cut to be able to get the image exactly how it is. If these images are off, then and you print this image and put it in the Cameo, it will not cut. You will get a error for registration marks error. So then make sure that that's on. Now if I'm just printing something from my Cameo, then you want to have it off. If you have the registration marks on and you're printing something from the Cameo, it will still give you a error message that it cannot find the registration marks because you don't have any set. You have it set on, but there's none for it to find. So keep that in mind. That did take me a long time to find out. That's why it took me a while to be able to print, because I kept getting that error. So again, if this image is exactly how you want it to be and you want to print it on your regular paper and have your kids color it, it's ready to go. You'll just print it to your regular printer. But say you want this exact image, but you want it cut around and you want your kids to color it. If you want the Cameo to cut it, you have to turn the registration marks on. Now, another way to have the registration marks on is on your keypad. You press M. It'll take it on or take it off. So that's also how you can get an error message on your registration marks. Second thing, when you're here, this tells you that your regular size is going to be your Cameo, or if you're going to print it to your printer, you want to select printer. And then you can rotate this on any size, on any side. This is the normal way. And I like to keep mine as close to this edge as possible. This right here is your mat, and it's going to cut within that mat. And it is pretty much true to size. So this is about 4 inches wide. It is going to print 4 inches. So if you lower it a little bit, it will print that exact size. This is your grid. A lot of people like to have the grid on. I prefer not to have it on. And again, this is your registration marks. Here is your pick scan. I don't have that. I have this function, but I haven't used it yet. This is your color option. So if you wanted to color this, you can do so. And I'll show you that in the next video. I'm going to use this same guy. And as you can see right now, he's black and white, but we can color him any color we want. This is the lines. Now it's not going to be the lines on here, but this is your style lines. This is your trace function, which we just used. This is your effect panel. If you want to add any effects, I haven't used that a lot. This is your text. Once it pops up, it selects your type. So you go here and type. And if I highlight it, I can pick a different type of font. And I'll show you in another video how to get the different fonts. Some of these are ones that I downloaded. This right here is your transformation, your transform place where you can center it in the middle of the page, or you can center 2 objects. Select both objects and center them. So that puts it in the middle. This one is the center of the page. This is the center of the 2. So if I undo this to center them in the middle of the actual full page, it's going to have the border. So that way you know it's the page. You're going to select them both, and you want to put them in the center of the page. Now, say I want to have these 2 objects centered. You select the 2 objects and then do center, and it will center the 2 objects. This is your, like, I call it my duplicate. So if I want to duplicate it to the left, I can. Or if I want to do it to the bottom, I can. I'm going to delete 2 of them. That is actually really good for, if I select this and fill the page, these are really good for stickers. And as you can see, it only did 1 Whitney because I didn't have the Whitney selected. I had the object selected. This is a subtract, which if I put my name back here, and I select that in this image, and I go back here to center them, and I do subtract, it's actually going to subtract that out of there. Or weld it together, crop it, different things like that. And I'll get it more into those functions as well. This is your offset, which is a good feature to have. It makes a line on the outer of your images. And as you can see, it's just the border. So I really like that. That's good when you're doing names. So I really hope that going over those different icons does help you get a little more familiar with your Cameo. Now these 2 down here are actually not available. If you scroll over it, it does say for Silhouette Curios. Thank you very much for tuning in. Press the arrow key up, the thumbs up or thumbs down if this did help. And please stay tuned for future videos. Thank you and have a great day.